The colony of Vera was quiet that evening. The twin suns hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the metal domes and winding streets. Children laughed in the distance, running through the dusty courtyards, unaware of the danger that silently approached. Life on Vera was hard, but humans had built it. They'd carved out a small piece of the galaxy for themselves, and for now, it seemed safe. Commander Yarrick Cade, the oldest and most respected officer on the colony, walked slowly along the perimeter of the settlement. His eyes scanned the horizon, sharp despite his age. Something didn't feel right. The wind had shifted, carrying a strange metallic smell. The colony's sensors were quiet, but Yarrick had learned to trust instinct more than technology. "Commander, all seems calm," reported Lieutenant Mira, standing beside him. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were wide. She had always respected Yarrick, and tonight she needed his calm. Yarrick nodded, but he didn't relax. "Calm doesn't mean safe," he said. "Keep everyone alert." As night fell over Vera, a shadow moved across the edge of the colony. It was fast, silent, and precise. The alien raiders had come hidden in the shadows, using the darkness to mask their approach. They were sleek, gray creatures, taller than a human, with elongated limbs and glowing eyes that reflected the faint light of the suns. Their ships had hovered silently above the colony, unnoticed by the sensors. The raiders struck quickly. Their hands moved like lightning, grabbing a young girl named Lyra while the colony slept. She screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the night. Her captors moved with efficiency, dragging her toward their ship. In the main square, alarms began to blare. Lights flashed red, piercing the dark sky. The humans scrambled, but they were unprepared. Many defenders were away on routine patrols, leaving the colony vulnerable. Panic spread like wildfire. Mothers and fathers ran toward the square, shouting for their children. Soldiers grabbed their weapons, but the raiders were already gone, disappearing as quickly as they had arrived. Yarrick stood in the square, his face grim. He had trained for attacks, but never like this. Never so sudden, so precise. He watched as the last of the alien ship lifted into the sky, carrying Lyra with it. "Commander!" Mira shouted. "They've taken her!" Yarrick's jaw tightened. "Yes, and we were powerless to stop them." The colony's people were silent, staring at the empty sky. Fear and anger burned in their eyes. The thought that their small world, their home, could be violated so easily was unbearable. Yarrick turned to the gathered humans, his voice strong. "Listen to me. We may have lost this battle, but the war is not over. There is a power we have kept secret for generations. A fleet that was thought to be lost forever." Whispers spread through the crowd. Some had heard rumors of an ancient fleet hidden away after humanity's earlier wars in space. It was said to be massive, equipped with weapons that could rival any alien force, but most dismissed it as legend. Yarrick's eyes scanned the crowd, locking on to Mira. "I will awaken the sleeping fleet," he said, "and we will bring her back." The words hung in the air, heavy with hope and fear. Humans looked at him, unsure if this was courage or madness. But Yarrick had seen the fleet himself, hidden deep beneath the surface of Vera in a cavern carved into the mountain decades ago. It had been dormant for centuries, waiting for the day humanity needed it most. As night deepened, Yarrick led Mira and a small team to the hidden entrance of the cavern. The air was cold and dry, the walls echoing with their footsteps. Dust hung in the air like a fog, and the smell of metal and oil was strong. Finally, they reached the enormous doors. They were engraved with symbols long forgotten, symbols that spoke of human pride and strength. Yarrick placed his hand on the control panel, hesitating for a moment. He remembered the warnings of the elders. Once the fleet awakens, there is no turning back. He pressed the sequence. Slowly, the doors began to rumble, metal grinding against metal. A deep vibration shook the cavern. Lights flickered on across the walls, revealing rows upon rows of massive human ships, slumbering. In silence, they were enormous, more advanced than anything the aliens could imagine. and yet they had waited patiently for this moment. Mira stepped forward, her eyes wide with awe. "It's real." She whispered. "Yes," Yarrick said, his voice firm. "And it's ours. Humans built this. We thought we were small, weak. But look at this. Look at what we created." Team moved deeper into the cavern, preparing to activate the fleet. The hum of machinery began to fill the air, a low, steady sound that grew louder with every passing second. Systems blinked to life, weapons calibrated themselves, and engines began to power up. The sleeping fleet was awakening.
Outside, the sky remained dark.
But a small group of humans had gathered on the cliffs above, watching the stars. Know what was happening below, but they could feel it. Something had changed. Something powerful had stirred. Yarrick looked up at the night sky, his mind focused on the girl who had been taken. Lyra, she was out there. Somewhere in the cold emptiness of space, in the hands of creatures who thought they were unstoppable. But they had underestimated humanity. They had underestimated the sleeping fleet. The first ship powered up fully, its engines glowing blue. A low roar echoed through the cavern, shaking dust from the ceiling. The humans stared, a mixture of fear and hope in their eyes. Yarrick turned to Mira. "Prepare the others. We leave at dawn. We bring her home, and we remind the galaxy why. Humans are never to be underestimated." The hum of the fleet grew louder, filling every corner of the cavern. Somewhere out there, the aliens were celebrating their victory, unaware that the tide was about to turn. The cavern beneath Vera rumbled with power. Dust fell from the ceiling as the massive doors ground open, revealing row after row of slumbering ships. They were enormous, sleek, and deadly, the sleeping fleet, humanity's secret weapon, hidden. For centuries, Erek Cade stood at the edge of the cavern, his eyes reflecting the glowing lights of the engines coming to life. Mira stepped forward, awe and fear mixing in her expression. "It's beautiful," she whispered. She ran her hand along the hull of a ship, feeling the cold metal hum with energy. "I didn't think it was real." Yarrick nodded. "It is real. And tonight, it wakes for the first time in centuries. Every ship, every weapon, every system, it's all ours. But we must be careful. The fleet has power, yes, but it requires skill to control. One mistake, and we could destroy ourselves." The small human team moved through the cavern, activating consoles and checking systems. The ship's weapons hummed quietly, shields began to glow faintly, and engines responded with a low, steady pulse. Yarrick had learned the fleet's secrets long ago from old manuals and ancient logs, but seeing it all in motion was overwhelming. Suddenly, alarms rang throughout the cavern. Red lights flashed. Mira jumped, startled. "Commander, what's happening?" Yarrick's eyes narrowed. The fleet senses life outside. Someone, or something, is near. Outside Vera, the alien raiders were still celebrating, as they assumed the humans were beaten, weak, and powerless. But their celebration was interrupted when they detected a massive energy surge, one unlike anything in the sector. Sensors couldn't understand. A power long forgotten, had awoken. Back in the cavern, the humans worked quickly. Yarrick moved from console to console, his fingers flying over controls, initiating activation sequences for weapons, engines, and defense systems. Myra monitored the ship's sensors. "Commander, the fleet is responding. All ships are operational, and weapons are online." Yarrick allowed a small smile. "Good, but we are not ready to fight yet. First, we must master control. The fleet is alive, but it listens only to humans it trusts." The team climbed aboard the first ship. Its cockpit was enormous, filled with consoles, displays, and holographic controls. Mira sat at the navigator's station, taking a deep breath. "I feel like we're stepping into history," she said. Yarrick's voice was steady. "We are. Humanity has survived countless attacks, countless enemies. Now we have the means to fight back, but we must be smart. Speed and precision will save Lyra, not recklessness." Meanwhile, in deep space, the alien ship carrying Lyra continued its journey. The girl sat inside a small chamber, restrained but alert, Her eyes scanned the walls. Fear gripped her, but she was brave. Lyra had heard stories of humans' courage and ingenuity. She knew her people never gave up. Somewhere out there, she hoped, someone was coming for her. Back in the cavern, Yarrick activated the fleet's communication system. Holographic screens flickered to life, showing fleet maps, positions, and star charts. "We will need a plan," he said. "The aliens think they have the advantage. But advantage is meaningless against humans who refuse to surrender." The team began strategizing. Moving between ships and systems, Myra ran simulations, testing the fleet's agility and weapons against imaginary targets. The stars stretched endlessly before the sleeping fleet as it exited the cavern. Engines blazed, sending streaks of blue light across the darkness of space. Commander Uricade stood on the command bridge of the lead ship, his eyes fixed on the star charts. Every pilot and crew member was tense, hearts pounding, but focused. Tonight, humanity would prove its strength. Mira sat at the navigator's station, her hands flying over controls. "Commander," she said, her voice tight with anticipation, "I've tracked the alien convoy. They're moving fast, but they're unprepared for what's coming. We have a chance to strike first." Yarrick nodded. "Good. But remember, precision is everything. One mistake, and we could alert them too early. We need to hit them like a shadow, silent, deadly, and invisible until it's too late." The fleet moved with astonishing grace, each massive ship gliding through space like a predator stalking prey. Sensors lit up with readings, and weapon systems hummed quietly, ready to fire. The aliens had no idea what was coming. They thought humans were weak. They thought humans could be ignored. But the sleeping fleet was awake, and it had a mind of its own. The convoy appeared on the horizon. Small ships, lightly armored, were escorting the larger carrier that held human prisoners, including Lyra. The aliens were confident there. Formation tight and disciplined. They had not expected a response. Yarrick leaned forward. "All ships move into strike positions. Wait for my command." Mira's fingers danced over the controls. Energy weapons ready. Torpedoes armed. Shields. At full power, suddenly a blip appeared on the sensors. A small scout ship from the aliens, moving toward the fleet. It was fast, but humans were faster. One of the fleet's ships surged forward, cutting off the scout in a sudden burst of speed. A pulse of energy fired, disabling the alien vessel instantly. "Good," Yorick said. "I'll think it was a mistake. Let's keep it that way." The fleet approached the convoy, silent as shadows. Weapons were ready, but not yet fired. Myra's voice broke the tension. "Commander, they're talking. Communications are open. They're confused. They don't know what this power is." Yarrick smiled grimly. "Then let's show them." At his command, the fleet struck. Massive beams of energy cut through the darkness, hitting the alien ships. Before they could react, shields flared, weapons exploded, and alarms screamed across the enemy vessels. The aliens were caught completely off guard. They had expected nothing, and now chaos reigned. One of the smaller human ships swooped around the edges of the battle, targeting the alien carrier that held Lyra. Its weapons locked on, firing precise bursts to disable the engines without harming the interior. The carrier shuddered, sparks flying across its hull, and began to slow. Lyra, restrained inside, pressed herself against the wall, terrified but hopeful. In the command ship, Yarrick watched every move. "Excellent. Keep pressure on them. Do not let them regroup." The aliens scrambled to respond. Energy beams fired in all directions, but they were too slow. The fleet was everywhere at once, coordinated, precise, and unstoppable. A massive alien cruiser tried to flank the humans, but it ran straight into a trap. Two fleet ships moved in from opposite directions, forcing the cruiser to split its defenses. A volley of torpedoes tore through its shields, leaving it crippled. Mira's voice was tight with excitement. "We're doing it. Fleet is. It's perfect. It anticipates them." Yarrick nodded. "It is. This is what happens when humans create something extraordinary, something they don't expect." Meanwhile, inside the alien carrier, Lyra's eyes widened as she noticed movement outside. Shadows passed along the walls, faster than she had ever seen. Then, suddenly, she saw it. A small ship approaching the carrier, weapons firing precise. Beams to disable its engines. Her hope soared. Humans were here. Humans had come for her. The alien crew panicked. What is this? How are they moving so fast? They shouldn't be able to do this. Yarick's voice rang across the fleet, calm and commanding. All ships converge on the carrier. Disable, but do not destroy. We bring our people home. The humans worked with precision, hitting only critical systems. Engines sputtered, shields flickered, and the carrier began to drift helplessly. The aliens tried desperately to fight back, but every move they made was anticipated. The fleet was alive, and it acted as one mind, moving faster than the aliens could comprehend. In the final moments, the small human ship approached the carriers. Docking bay. A team of human operatives, including Mira, prepared to board. Lyra's restraints clicked open from the inside. The aliens hadn't expected her to escape. She ran to the hatch, heart pounding, as the humans pulled her aboard.
Lyra!
Mira shouted, relief flooding her voice. The girl threw herself into Myra's arms, tears streaming down her face. I knew you would come. Yarek watched from the command bridge as the fleet covered their retreat, beams of energy cutting off pursuing alien ships. It's not over yet, he said. But we've shown them what humans can do, and this is only the beginning. Outside the battle, the stars stretched endlessly. The aliens were stunned, many fleeing in fear. Humanity's power, long underestimated, had struck first. The sleeping fleet had awakened, and it had made its presence known. Mira looked at Lyra, smiling despite the tension. You're safe now. We won't let them take you again. Lyra nodded, still trembling. I knew humans were strong, but I didn't know. Strong. Yarick's eyes were cold and determined. Hey, we'll remember this, and next time, they won't underestimate us. Never again. The fleet moved away from the wreckage, engines blazing, shields glowing. The humans had won the first strike, but the galaxy was far from safe. They had awakened a force that could not be ignored, and somewhere in the stars, more enemies would soon learn that humans were not weak. Not anymore.
Oh.
The stars stretched endlessly ahead as the sleeping fleet moved deeper into space. Lyra was safe for now, but the aliens had jumped into a hidden wormhole, disappearing from sensors. Commander Yarick Cade's eyes narrowed as he studied the readings. They were trying to escape, he said. But we're not letting them. Get away. Myra's hands flew over the controls. The wormhole is unstable, Commander. If we follow them, we risk losing ships. Or worse. Eric's voice was firm. We have no choice. The girl is our priority. Every ship must follow. Take calculated risks. Move smart, but move fast. The fleet surged forward, engines blazing as they approached the wormhole. Energy rippled across its surface, twisting. Space like water in a storm. The aliens had chosen a risky path, assuming the humans would hesitate. But humans rarely hesitated when a life was at stake. Inside the alien ship, the air was tense. Lyra watched the stars twist in strange patterns outside the viewport. She pressed herself against the wall, heart pounding. The aliens were confident, but they had not accounted for the humans' resolve or the power of the sleeping fleet. Back in the lead human ship, Yarick guided the fleet closer. Prepare for jump, he ordered. All ships, synchronize engines. We go together, or not at all. Myra's fingers danced over the controls. Jump coordinates locked. Ready on your mark. Yarick took a deep breath. Mark. The fleet surged forward, engines screaming, and entered the wormhole. Stars stretched and twisted around them as space itself seemed to tear apart. Inside, navigation was treacherous. One wrong move could send a ship into a wall of cosmic energy, destroying it instantly. Shields holding, Mira reported, her voice tense. But we're moving fast. It's too fast to slow down for mistakes. Yarick's eyes scanned the console. Trust the fleet. It knows the path. We move as one. The fleet emerged on the other side, into an uncharted region of space. Dark asteroids floated between glowing nebulae, making navigation difficult. The alien ship carrying Lyra was visible ahead, moving toward a fortified station hidden among the rocks. The aliens had planned their escape carefully, Commander Mira said. They're trying to regroup. More ships are appearing from the shadows. It's a trap. Yarek's face hardened. Then we walk right into it. Full formation. Shields up. Weapons ready. Precision is everything. Remember, we don't destroy what we need to capture. The fleet moved like a predator. Massive human ships glided between asteroids, engines glowing, weapons scanning. Alien ships emerged from hiding, attacking, but they were too slow, too uncoordinated. The sleeping fleet anticipated every move, striking in perfect synchronization. Lyra pressed herself against the wall of the alien ship as alarms blared. Sparks flew from damaged consoles. She watched as massive human ships appeared, shadows of steel and power, firing precise bursts that disabled alien weapons without harming the interior. Her hope soared. Humans were here just as Yarek promised. One of the alien leaders shouted in anger, How? How can they move like this? Their fleet, it's alive. Yarek, aboard the command ship, watched the battle unfold. It's not alive, he said quietly. The stars were dark and quiet, but danger was never far. The sleeping fleet moved through uncharted space, escorting Lyra safely aboard the command ship. Commander Yarekade's eyes never left the view screen. Sensors had detected a massive alien armada waiting near a hidden space station, far larger and more organized than any force the humans had faced so far. They're ready, Myra said, her voice tight.
Oh.
The aliens have a huge fleet, and they know we're coming. They've prepared for us. Yarek's face hardened. Good. Let them prepare. They have no idea what they're up against. This is not just a fleet, it's humanity's strength. And tonight, they will learn it the hard way. The alien armada was enormous. Hundreds of ships, varying in size, formed a protective ring around the station. Their weapons glowed ominously. Ready to strike? The human smaller fleet seemed almost fragile in comparison. But Yarek knew something the aliens did not. The sleeping fleet was not only massive, it was smart. Every ship, every weapon system, every maneuver was coordinated perfectly, anticipating enemy moves before they happened. Commander Mira said, We can't attack all at once. They'll overwhelm us. We need a plan. Yarek smiled grimly. We don't attack all at once. We strike with precision. Weak points first, then the rest will follow. The fleet moved like a shadow through space. Massive human ships positioned themselves around the alien formation, engines glowing softly. From inside, the weapon systems hummed quietly, almost like a heartbeat. The aliens detected movement and fired, but their attacks were scattered, hitting nothing. The fleet anticipated every strike, shifting positions instantly. Look at that, Mira whispered. It's like the fleet knows their moves before they make them. Yarek nodded. It does. It's humanity's design. We built this fleet to be unstoppable, when coordinated. And now, we're showing them its power. The first wave of strikes began. Human energy beams cut through the alien formation, hitting critical points with surgical precision. Shields flared, explosions lit the darkness, and the aliens panicked. Their fleet had never faced such coordination, such intelligence in an enemy force. Inside the alien command ship, fear spread quickly. How can this be? Their fleet. It's moving as one mind, an officer shouted. Yarek's voice echoed over the fleet comes. It's human. Every ship, every weapon, every move is guided by human will, and humans never surrender. Myra guided the fleet carefully, targeting the alien ships guarding the station. Torpedoes flew with perfect accuracy, disabling engines and weapons. Without harming the station itself, smaller assault ships moved to board the station, ensuring the safety of anyone inside. Lyra watched in awe as the humans' power unfolded. Sparks and energy beams lit the stars around her. She had been afraid just hours ago, but now hope surged through her. Humans were unstoppable when they fought together. The aliens tried to regroup, but every move they made was countered instantly. The fleet shifted, predicting attacks, blocking flanking maneuvers, and striking at weak points. One massive cruiser attempted to escape, but two human ships flanked it, firing torpedoes that crippled its engines. Another ship tried to attack from behind, only to find its path blocked by shields that moved like living walls. Myra's voice was tense but excited. "Commander, they can't keep up. Our fleet is falling apart." "Good," Yarrick said, "but we're not done. Lyra is safe, but the galaxy is watching. We need them to understand who we are. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is not small. Humanity is unstoppable when united." Suddenly, Lyra's eyes widened. "Commander, I can help," she said. "I know something about their systems. I can hack into them, slow them down." Yarrick nodded. "Do it. Every advantage counts." Lyra tapped into the alien network from the command ship. Systems blinked, weapons misfired, and shields flickered. The alien leaders roared in anger. Their fleet, powerful and numerous, was now at the mercy of humans and one brave girl. The final strike was precise and overwhelming. Human ships fired coordinated volleys, cutting through the alien armada. One by one, alien ships were disabled, forced to retreat, or destroyed. The space station, once heavily guarded, was now surrounded by a human fleet that had revealed its true power. Jarek watched with satisfaction. This is what happens when humans are underestimated. The galaxy thought we were weak. They thought we could be ignored. But we are not weak.
We are not small.
We are human. And this fleet is our will made real. Mira turned to him, smiling despite the chaos around them. "We did it. We've shown them what humanity is capable of." Lyra looked out at the alien ships fleeing into the stars. "I knew humans were strong, but I never imagined this. It's amazing." Yark's eyes were cold and determined. They will remember this day. Humanity will not be underestimated again. Not now, not ever. The sleeping fleet regrouped, engines glowing, shields active, weapons ready. Humans had proven their power, and the galaxy was starting to take notice. Somewhere, hidden enemies were watching, learning that humans were no longer to be dismissed. The stars stretched endlessly as the sleeping fleet regrouped after their victory. Lyra was safe aboard the command ship, her eyes still wide with awe. The alien armada had retreated, battered and broken, but Commander Yarrick Cade knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen humanity's strength, and there were still enemies who would not yield quietly. Commander Myra said, her voice tense. "They're sending reinforcements from deep space. A larger fleet is approaching. They've realized the girl was rescued. Oh no, and they want revenge." Yarrick's jaw tightened. "Let them come. We've shown them our power. They will regret ever underestimating humans. Prepare the fleet. Every ship, every weapon, every pilot. They must be ready." The fleet spread across the stars, engines glowing like fireflies in the darkness. The humans moved with perfect coordination, shields forming barriers that could withstand the strongest attacks. Weapons hummed with energy, systems alive and alert. The aliens approached, confident in numbers, but unaware of the humans' true strength. Lyra watched as massive ships positioned themselves for battle. "I never knew humans could be like this," she whispered to Mira. "I always thought we were small, weak." Mira smiled. "We are human. We survive. We are unstoppable." Yarrick climbed to the command bridge's upper observation deck. His eyes scanned the approaching enemy fleet. "Remember," he said, addressing the human pilots over the comms, "this is not just about strength. This is about strategy, courage, and unity. We fight together, we strike together, and we win together. Humanity will not be defeated tonight." The alien reinforcements arrived in waves, massive cruisers flanking the smaller ships. They fired volleys of energy that would have destroyed most human colonies.
"Ow,"
But the sleeping fleet was different. Shields flared, absorbing the attacks, and weapons responded in perfect coordination. The humans were faster, smarter, and more precise than the aliens could ever anticipate. Drek gave the command. Strike. Massive beams of energy tore through the enemy formation, targeting engines, weapons, and shields. Alien ships exploded in bursts of fire flung into the void by precise torpedoes. Smaller human ships moved like shadows, darting in and out, disabling remaining vessels with surgical precision. Inside the alien command cruiser, panic spread. How can they fight like this? They are too coordinated, an officer shouted. The crew had never seen such unity, such skill, and such raw power. Back on the command ship, Lyra focused her attention on the battle controls. Commander, I can help again, she said. I can disrupt their navigation systems. It will slow them down and give the fleet an advantage. Do it, Yurik, said firmly. Every edge counts. Lyra's hands flew over the controls, sending pulses into the alien systems. Ships spun out of formation, weapons misfired, and chaos erupted among the enemy fleet. The human fleet took full advantage, striking with deadly precision. Look at them, Mira said, her voice filled with awe. The aliens don't know what hit them. We are unstoppable. The final push was intense. Human ships formed a circle around the largest enemy cruiser, beams lancing in from all sides. Torpedoes struck at critical points and shields flared. In response, finally, with a massive explosion, the alien flagship was destroyed. The remaining ships fled in terror, leaving the galaxy to witness humanity's unmatched power. Yarrick turned to Lyra. You are safe now. Humanity protects its own. Lyra smiled through tears. I knew humans were strong. But this is beyond anything I imagined. The fleet regrouped, engines blazing, shields glowing, weapons ready but not fired. Humans had reclaimed their honor, rescued the girl, and sent a message across the galaxy. Earth and its people were not to be underestimated. Mira looked at Yarrick. Commander, you've won tonight, but the galaxy will remember this battle forever. Yarrick's eyes were cold and determined.